Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We're here today with another Sims 2 speed build. This time we are renovating the Goth Manor as part of my Sims 2 Pleasantview Renovation series. This is probably my favourite renovation so far. I absolutely love it. I think it's turned out so nice and I love it so much. This is a bit of a longer video though, just because the sheer size of this and the level of detail that I put in, it took me ages to actually do it. Also, full disclosure about the outside of the house, inspiration was definitely taken from Cozy Pixels. She is doing a Sims 2 Pleasantview Renovation series just now as well. And I've been watching hers and she does some of the most incredible builds. She also has a really cool Rags to Riches series on her channel. So I'll definitely recommend her if you haven't checked her out, and I will have her Goth renovation linked down below. But yeah, I didn't want to use what she used on the outside. However, I couldn't find anything that looked better. So I have used the same brick and the same roofing style. I don't have the exact same roof, even though I do think her roof looks a bit better than mine, but I couldn't really find that roof. But that's besides the point. I just couldn't find anything that looked better. I haven't really touched the rest of the outside of the house, purely because the garden is all geared up for Cassandra's wedding. So I can't really remove that yet because, you know, a wedding might happen. I don't know what's going to happen when I finally get into gameplay. But yeah, I've left the garden and stuff just now. But obviously after the wedding is done and dusted, we can then go on to remodel the garden as we go. I struggle a bit with window placements because I couldn't get it to look sort of nice and uniform. But, you know, it does the job at the end. One thing I will say is though, these windows are quite big. So the kitchen counters block them a little bit, but I'd rather the windows look good and are partially blocked by counters than the windows look bad, because like I want it to still look decent from the outside as well as the inside. But yeah, it's not ridiculously noticeable, and normally that kind of stuff bothers me, but it's not bothered me here. Like, I am actually incredibly proud of this renovation. I think it looks really good, and I'm not normally one to like big myself up in this kind of sort of context. Like, I will toot my own horn, you know, when it requires tooting, and builds is usually not an area where I feel like I can do that. However, this renovation I love so much. I think I have done a really good job with it. Now, we don't all have to praise me, but if you wanted to, I would not say no. But no, this video sped up quite a bit just because of the sheer amount of time I spent in this house. Here I am just trying to figure out what wallpapers I want to use throughout. I want to try and pick like nice, grand looking wallpapers, just because obviously this is a grand house, you know. I also want it to fit the sort of gothic vibes. I want it to look good. But I also didn't want to use any of the wallpapers that are currently in the house just because I hate them all. So, I mean, in hindsight, I maybe should have clipped this bit out of the video because I was struggling for ages to find wallpapers that I wanted and that wallpapers I think would suit the build. Also, shout out to 4:2 conversions because I love those paranormal staff pack wallpapers so much. I can't remember if I ended up using them. Oh yeah, I did. I used one in Mortimer's bedroom. And yeah, I love the paranormal stuff so much. And so I'm happy I have that in The Sims 2. And I feel like it goes really well in this house. I'm happy with all my wallpaper choices. I'm happy with like my furnishing choices. I'm really happy with how this house turned out. I think it looks really pretty. I'm also using the same bathroom stuff that I used in St. Simeon's Church. This is the Manor House bathroom set that you can get on Mod The Sims. I also have the kitchen set, but I didn't use it in this. I have 4:2 conversions of some stuff from Vampires, I believe. Or maybe it's base game, I can't remember. But I thought the 4:2 conversions looked quite nice in my kitchen. So I didn't use the Manor House kitchen set, but I do also have that in my game. And I think I have a living room set as well, which I use for the couches, obviously in the living room. But I use these plumbing fixtures throughout. As far as I'm aware, I don't record the 2 upstairs bathrooms, just because they are basically the same as the downstairs one, just slightly different colours. And I feel like if you've seen one bathroom, you've seen them all. Some of them I put like different decor in, but a bathroom's a bathroom. Like they have toilets, sinks, tabs, that's all you need. Ideally, I would have a shower, but I don't think I put one in this house. Gameplay wise, I do prefer showers just because they're quicker, but with the style of house this is, I wanted to use the really fun like manor bathtubs that you might have seen in the Pleasant renovation. I wanted to do that instead because it just looked so grand and fancy. I'm pretty sure I changed these kitchen cabinets because I didn't like how they looked. Yeah, but the kitchen, I love it. I love it. I think it looks really good. We have the fireplace, we have the clutter, we have the fancy sinks. I'm really happy with how this build turned out. I have made the attic space upstairs quite a bit smaller than it was originally. Maybe I don't change those counters. I was sure I did. Because looking back, I don't particularly like those counters. I think I would rather different ones. I guess I leave them in because I'm fully cluttering now. But yeah, I did make the attic space upstairs quite a bit smaller, but there is still room to expand if I choose to. Also, I think that would be a good place for us to maybe stick a butler bedroom if we decide to get one. Every so often you're going to see some random items just piled on the floor, and that's because I found them in the catalogue and I knew I'd want to use them elsewhere, so I've just put them in the rooms where I'd like to use them. So ignore them, they don't stay in the middle of the floor. So here we are working on the dining room. This room I'm also very happy with, just because I do think it looks like where you would have a nice grand dinner. I struggled for a bit picking like the tables and chairs and things, but I'm quite happy with my decision, the decisions that I made. I do think the dining room looks really good. I did a lot of cluttering in this house, which I have been trying to get better at doing. I've recently been learning how to, well, not learning, but like I've recently gotten into using the like OMSPs a lot more, and I'm really enjoying cluttering with them. So I have just gone completely overboard in this house with just the bunch of random items, and I really like the finished result. I don't know what my favourite room would be, because I think they all did turn out quite nice. My least favourite room is definitely Alexander's bedroom. Like, I don't dislike Alexander's room, but I feel like his room is just so much lighter than the rest of the house. So if I was going to do anything differently, I would maybe choose a different colour scheme for his room. I also thought it'd be really cute to have this like footstool and poof type thing with little teacups sitting on it. So you can imagine like Cassandra and Mortimer just chilling out, reading their books, and then having a cup of tea together. And I wanted to put it on that angle just so it looks a bit more natural. Like, I am really happy with this living room. This house doesn't have any electronics in it, I don't think. Obviously, like some of the lighting and things, and like the fridge will technically be electric, but it doesn't look electric. But I don't have a TV, and I'm pretty sure I didn't add in a computer. If I did, it would be in either Cassandra or Alexander's room. Though as far as I'm aware, I didn't. I wanted to keep the sort of style and theme of the house. I wanted to keep the, I guess the whole old gothic vibe in the build. So I didn't want to go in and add like flat screen TVs above the fireplace and things. I didn't want to do that. But we have our bookshelves. I have to add the chess table back in because my little Alexander is usually always lonely and playing chess by himself. So we have to add that in. Yeah, I am very happy with how it turned out. I was wanting to get a really nice big fancy chandelier for the dining room, but I couldn't find one that I liked. I also have these like candlelight like chandelier things for the overhead lighting. Just because again, I feel like that fit the house a lot more. Just going in and taking all the sort of like fancy old looking paintings I can find and popping them all over the walls. Like this house is incredible. I was going to say well decorated, but that it's overly decorated, I guess I should say, rather than well decorated. It's just there is stuff everywhere. Like I feel like this type of family home that has been in the family for generations upon generations, you know, there's going to be lots of portraits, there's going to be lots of knickknacks, there's going to be lots of stuff and things everywhere. So I wanted to kind of capture that in this build, and I think I've managed it. I do think I've managed it. Another thing I would quite like to get for the Goths, you can kind of see the bathrooms upstairs there when I add in that little medicine cabinet. But another thing I'd quite like to include for the Goths is maybe a pet. I do really want to get the Goths some cats, because I do feel like they would be cat people. I've also kept quite a bit of red around the house, just because obviously Bella Goth, red is her iconic colour. And I did want to try and keep that in the build, even though Bella doesn't live here. Like in The Sims 2, if for whatever reason you have not seen any of my other Pleasantview videos, or you don't know the story of Sims 2 Pleasantview, Bella Goth was abducted by aliens and she is not technically in the hood at the start of the game. Like in the vanilla game, she's not in it at all. However, I am playing in a clean template of Pleasantview this time, so I do have Bella as a townie. And I am a bit undecided on what to do with her. I thought of a really cool idea that I would like to do, but then in practice I didn't like it. And that's actually, maybe, is that going to be my next speed build? I can't remember having any more other like renovations after this one. Can't remember. Anyway, I did a speed build for it and I was like, no, this is too far from what I want. So I ended up just scrapping the whole idea. And now Bella is just sitting in my family bin until I know what to do with her. I'm undecided about getting her and Mortimer back together. Although, like, they're like this iconic couple, I don't really like Bella and Mortimer together. And when I played with Bella in my Pleasantview with a Twist, her and Mortimer had like no chemistry and no relationship together. So, I mean, I don't really want to have them get married just for the sake of being married, you know? So, I don't know. And I do really like Dina and Mortimer as a couple. So obviously if Bella came back, that would cause some drama for Dina. And Dina I love more than anything. Like the Goth family, I am not a massive fan of. I do think the Goth family are quite overhyped. Like I don't dislike them. To be honest, there's not very many Sims in Pleasantview that I dislike. I obviously have my preferences and there are some that I love. But there's not any that I would say I dislike. I guess the closest to dislike would probably be Darren Dreamer, and I don't even think I would say I dislike him. I mean, all these Sims bring something to the story, you know, but Darren, sometimes we could do without him. Yeah, I'm undecided on what to do there. So let me know, if you play The Sims 2, what do you do with Bella Goth? And what are your thoughts? What are some fun storylines that you've done with Bella? Like, I really like the idea of my storyline with Bella. I don't really want to talk about it too much in this video. I will discuss it in like my next, or the speed build of that build I was doing for it. I will discuss it there. And obviously I will discuss why I'm not doing it anymore. But yeah, if I talk about it now, I won't have anything to talk about in that video. But yeah, let me know what your storylines are. Or what are some of your fun Pleasantview pairings? Like, who are some sort of strange couplings you've had together? Yeah, I'm hoping I get some new pairings this time. One pairing I am really hoping I can try out is Nina and Daniel. I think Nina and Daniel usually always get on quite well, and I do think Nina and Daniel would be quite a fun little affair. I don't see Nina and Daniel ever being anything serious. Like, sometimes, like, it's fun for Daniel and Kaylin to get together, and obviously Daniel's married to Mary Sue, so they're like serious like relationships. Nina and Daniel would only ever be a fling, I think, because I feel like if Nina is going to get serious with anyone, it would probably be Dawn, even though Dawn is garbage, like hot, flaming garbage. Although I say that, I have like a love-hate relationship with Dawn. Like, I find Dawn so much fun to play because I just think that kind of sim is a lot of fun. Like, I love the drama, I love the sort of the seediness of it all. But like, if Dawn was a real person, he would be absolute garbage. Like, he would be the worst person. Like, you would not be friends with Dawn. Like, all he cares about is one thing, you know? So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways that I can, like, play my Pleasantview differently. But then at the same time, like, I always play my Pleasantview, like, based on what my Sims want to do. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We are working on Cassandra's room at the moment, and I do really like Cassandra's room. I hope I move those curtains closer to the window, because that's just hovering. There we go. That was just hovering in the middle of the floor. I do really like how Cassandra's room turned out. Sorry, my headphones are hurting. Cassandra, I always feel like her favourite colour is purple. So I wanted to try and include that in her room. Though I feel like I maybe could have done sort of more purple if I chose different bedding for her. But I didn't really have any that matched nicely. But I love the wallpaper for this room. Absolutely love it. And I also really enjoy Mortimer's room. Mortimer is kind of like this deep red, like maybe burgundy rather than red. And I've just got like a nice chair in there. I've got some clutter. Also reusing those circle mirrors just because I think they make quite good decor. I don't know, I really like how it's turned out. I think it looks really good. And then you can see in the background, that light blue room is Little Alexander's. And I just think that looks so different from the rest of the house. And I mean, it kind of works. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my headset constantly. It kind of works because Alexander is obviously a child. So Alexander is not going to have like an overly grown up room. So I can see why, you know, the style in that room would be different to the rest of the house. Like, a 10-year-old is not going to have the same decorative tastes as like a 20-year-old, for example, like Cassandra. But I don't know, I just feel like his room, it stands out too much, and I might need to go in and fix it. I might need to just give him a slightly darker wallpaper. And then I'll be happy. Then I'll know true peace. But other than that, other than the colour, I think it's the colour that's throwing me off. Other than that, though, I am very happy with how his room turned out. I do think it's cute, and I do really like how I have decorated it. It's full. It is full. Like, all these rooms are full. Like, a lot of the time when I'm decorating, I'll get bored and I'll move on to something else. But this build, I think it's helped that I did this in a couple of sittings. And I didn't do it all in one. Normally when I'm building, I do it all in one. So like my first rooms, I will decorate quite heavily, and then by the time I get upstairs or downstairs, depending on what way I work in the house, like the last room, for example, I'm just so done with building, I'm like, nah, I'll just shove this in, it'll be fine. But the fact that I've done this in 2 sittings, I really was able to sort of focus more when I was in build mode, and I was able to, you know, sort of fully decorate and flesh out all of these rooms, and I think they look really good. Oh, I know I keep saying that, but I'm very proud of this build. I am very proud of this build. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the shelves of knickknacks. I'm happy with the colours, the wallpaper choices. I'm happy with the sort of skill items we have. I don't know, this is probably my favourite, like I've said this before as well, but this is definitely my favourite renovation in Pleasantview, and I definitely think this is my favourite Goth Manor renovation that I've ever done. I also have those 4:2 conversions of Void Critter cards, so I thought that that would be good for Alexander's room. Maybe that's one of the little things he collects. Like, obviously Void Critters are based on Pokemon, so I imagine that Alexander would maybe be quite into Pokemon. I also have added quite a lot of sort of space posters into his room. Obviously with Bella being abducted, his life was changed from a very young age and he has to go without his mum. So I do feel like he would maybe have quite an interest in outer space, and you know, maybe one day he would want to become an astronaut or something just so he can try and find his mum. So I do feel like he would have, you know, a bit an interest in aliens, to say the least. So I like how it turned out. I also gave him this little 4:2 conversion of a trophy shelf, just because I do feel like Alexander is an overachiever. You know, he's very good at what he tries. Naturally, he is a very intelligent little boy. And I do think the sort of environment that they're brought up in helps him to be that way. I mean, if they had like a load of like TVs and like video game consoles or like a home cinema or something, I imagine it'd be easier for Alexander to get distracted and maybe not put the same focus into reading or like playing chess or that kind of thing. So yeah, I definitely think like the way they live helps with the way that Alexander is and the type of hobbies that he pursues. So yeah. But here we are working on the upstairs. Like I said, I did make this a lot smaller. I also have this little moon dial. That might be a 3 conversion, it might be a 4 conversion, I don't know. Custom content anyway though. Yeah, I made this a lot smaller, but as you can see, the sort of painted floorboards at the back, there is a lot of room we can still expand things and create bedrooms or things if we need to. Or even if we just need like a bigger skill item, you know, I can expand this room a little. Like we do have we've got a lot of options up here. So I just add in some like sort of arty things. I block off one of the bookcases, but I feel like there's so many in this house anyway, it doesn't really matter if one of the bookcases aren't completely functional. I mean, it's all about aesthetics anyway, right? And again, we're just adding more paintings in up here just to fill the walls out a little bit and make it look that bit more full. So I add this path round to the front of the house, and that's about all. I think I changed the seats for the wedding area, and I think that's me almost done. Like that's about all I do for landscaping on the outside, because again, I can't really change too much until the wedding is over. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have liked this, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. That would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed. If you have any comments or suggestions, you can leave down below. I'm always happy to hear from you. Also, maybe leave a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel, because that would mean the world to me. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!